Welcome to this edition of Platform. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. President Muhammad Buhari assumed office in May 2015 with a strategic focus on the economy, security, and the war against corruption. This is with the understanding that without peace, no meaningful economic growth and development can take place. 2015 to 2019, President Buhari and his cabinet demonstrated capacity with the relentless war against corruption, dogged commitment in tackling insecurity, including an expansive and result-oriented agriculture program. The poorest of the poor were also factored into the national economy as they were mainstreamed through the social intervention program, which had midwifed many indigent population out of poverty. The Buhari administration's successes are many and diversified. Huge investment in infrastructure, transformation of the transport sector, particularly the railway system, to a diversified, inclusive and competitive economy. As President Muhammadu Buhari prepares to be sworn in for his second presidential term, this edition of Platform focuses on the performance, achievements of the Buhari administration, 2015 to 2019. Our guest is a former minority leader of the House of Representatives, one of the chieftains of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, and the leader of the organization that purchased the 2019 APC presidential nomination form and presented it to President Muhammadu Buhari on September 12, 2018. National leader, Nigeria Consolidated Ambassadors Network, Honorable Faruk Adamu Aliyu. Welcome to Platform.
Thank you very much.
As usual, we have two panelists on this edition of the program. Ademola Adewe, Assistant Director News, NTA.
It's my pleasure to be here.
We also have Ruth Aguele, NTA Current Affairs Unit.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Once again, former minority leader, House of Representatives, and a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. Welcome to Platform.
Thank you very much.
We'll begin from that event of September the 12th of 2018. How or why or what did the Nigeria Consolidated Ambassadors Network see in President Buhari that made you to purchase the nomination form for the president election for him?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Actually, it's not me, but the group that
The network.
The network. It's a group of Nigerians from the ages of 35 down who believe that this country belongs to them, that if there's good leadership, they will be the beneficial of that. So they approached me across the divide, across the country, to lead them in that venture. And thank God we did. And we're happy that what they saw in the president and the people of the country also agreed and voted for him in power. So we thank God, we thank them, and we thank Nigerians for that.
Now let's go to the performance of the administration. 2015 to 2019 is our focus. And but first and foremost, if we zero our mind back to 2014, 2015, it was a period of heightened insecurity, high rate of inflation, etc. What's your assessment of the administration coming in from 2015 to date?
Is that of change, that of progress, because you see, I always don't want to even refer to 2014. What has happened, and Nigerians have witnessed that. Yes, at that time, there was a lot of insecurity, the economy was nosediving, and it was like all-comers thing. Now, when this government, when Muhammadu Buhari became the president, the three cardinal things that the government and the party campaign on, the fight against corruption, the security, and the economy. In this country today, you cannot discuss corruption on the table. That at least, the fear of EFCC, the president in power, various agencies that checkmate these kind of things. So you find out that nobody is saying corruption has completely been eliminated. No, but it's nothing to be discussed on the table. Of course, here and there you cannot stop it completely. So that is the achievement. And then in this time, you find out that government agencies make returns of money at the end of every year. This time around, you find agencies advertising for jobs. You get contracts because you don't know anybody, but you're qualified. So this fight against corruption has really, it's yielding dividend. And also for the first time, now there are two governors, former governors of our party, our people, our persons, governors, former governors that have worked for us. They're in jail today. So many high-profile cases are being prosecuted. So which means just like what Buhari said when he came, he's for nobody and he's for everybody. So which means that fight is on, and it is not about Buhari, it's about the country. It's supposed to be, a collective effort. So we're looking for a leader who will lead the fight. Now Buhari is leading the fight, and Nigerians are believing it and are following that. Then the economy. When we came in, you remember also we went into recession not long after we took over. And thank God, the economic indices have changed. We came out of it because the government decided to diversify. Today, we can at least produce our staple food, the rice, which before that time, every day about $5 million is being spent on importation of rice. Now, a lot of people have gone back to the farm. Not only rice, so many other staple food, this government is focused on that. And so in terms of agriculture, there's a lot of improvement. Now, security. That time when we came, you remember in Abuja here, police headquarters was bombed, UN, Mianya, so many other places. And from here to Kano, or from here to Maiduguri, you could reach 20, 30, 40, 100 checkpoints. Now they are not there. But nobody is saying Boko Haram has gone, but they have been decimated. When we came, and 14, 15 local governments were taken over by Boko Haram. So this time around, as of today, not everywhere in Borno is clean, but at least most parts of Borno state is clean. Then we have challenges in other parts of the country, which is also real. The harder farmer crisis, the kidnappings all over the place, insurgencies here and there. That is our major challenge now as a government. And the government has done everything, is doing everything possible also. And the government is also calling on the people, because look, you cannot fight security with just government agencies. There should be collaboration by the people. The people need to give information so that the forces will work. And I assure you, between now and in no distant future, there will be an overhaul in the security infrastructure of this country.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned the three cardinal points of this administration when they came on board. And good news, we saw that the economy recorded the GDP growth just recently, 2.01% in the first quarter of 2019. Exactly. And according to experts, the strongest performance since 2015.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned diversification, which of course is this administration's focus. And I know that priority has been given to agriculture and solid minerals. Now, if we must expand the scope, which other sectors need to be explored that has not really been given attention?
The manufacturing. Okay. The manufacturing sector, it's the next in line. And I assure you also the government now, in the field of agriculture, the government is trying as much as possible to get industries like tomato. I can tell you, like tomato, by the end of this year, the government is trying to ban importation of tomato into this country, where factories will start manufacturing paste and what have you in the country, like maize and flour, where people import flour into this country. So monies are going to be dedicated to industries, loans, through soft loans, to ensure that factories also, so the manufacturing sector will be given adequate attention this year, so that now the mineral resources, also the mineral, industries will be set up across the country to ensure that whatever is in the part of the country, an industry, at least an industry, is put in place. So besides the agriculture, we have also the down from top to bottom approach. That is, when you produce, you do everything up to the end in the country. So industries are going to work, because the power is also being worked on, which by the end of this year, you will see a lot of power generation plants will come on board, and also a lot of transmission lines are ongoing.
Demola.
Let's look at the area of infrastructure, because it's one major area which this government actually focus on when we look at the railway system and the road reconstruction. And what exactly would you say it's the major achievement in this area?
Well, the major achievement is today you can go to Kaduna by train 4 times and come back. By the end of next month, people in Lagos can go to Ibadan and back by train. People from Alaja, Ajaokuta, will also be, going by train. And also, before the end of 4 years, I am sure the train between Port Harcourt and Lagos, Port Harcourt will be there. Also, another line leaving Lagos through so many states to Maiduguri will be there. So, in terms of rail system, it's there for people to see. Government has just recently, about a week ago, ministers came back from China to go and sign loans to continue with the projects. And look at also the aviation sector, where airports are being renovated, loans are given to airlines in the country to continue. Also, the road network. Today, people that live in Kano and Kaduna, Kaduna here, are hoping that before the end of this year, work is ongoing now by Julius Baja, doing 6 lanes. So also Lagos Ibadan is ongoing. The southeast also road, the 3rd mainland bridge is also ongoing. Kano Maiduguri that was abandoned is ongoing. In every state of this country, you find out that road networks are going on. And I remember very well when this government came, there were about 240 abandoned projects, about 340 abandoned projects. As of now, those 240 are being done, and about another 200 are ongoing. So this government has invested so much in infrastructure and is ongoing. And this also are things to be seen. People are being employed. So the economy is moving. Traders are doing businesses. So kudos to this government.
Would you say, sir, let me just, because you talked about several projects that were ongoing right now. We know that the previous administration left so many uncompleted projects, and when this government came in, they did not abandon those projects, but they continued. Let's look at this issue of continuity. How would you rate this government? Because in the past, it has been abandoned. When a new administration comes in, they will abandon the project and they will start a new elephant project that will never be completed.
Yeah, well, I think if nothing, this government led by President Buhari has shown that government is supposed to continue. There is no difference between government A and government B, because resources of ours, the country has been put in place. So it is only good. The president came, in fact, to say, look, why should you abandon project? There are so many politicians like us who will tell president, look, let's start our own so that our names will be tagged. He said, no. The government that left used the resources of the country. So let's just continue and finish. And thank God they have been completed. So I think this will give governments that will come after Buhari that whatever Buhari will start, if we don't complete it, let the government that will come continue, so that there will be benefit for all of us. Because you don't choose parties when you go on the road or when you use electricity. It's our money collectively for all of us. So I think it's a good thing that this government has continued with all abandoned projects.
And talking about benefits, still on infrastructure, now I know the government can do it alone. Will you recommend PPP, public-private partnership, for increased maintenance and capacity? In fact,
there are some, I know, like the Lagos Ibadan, that is going to be like the guinea pig.
Okay.
Government is trying to bring in, partners who will partner with them and also collect toll. And I'm sure probably by the time Kano, Abuja is also completed, I totally agree with this, because government has scarce resources.
Yes.
I'm sure even previous governments, some of them would have wanted to complete, but because of lack of planning, also paucity of funds. So I think it is a good thing, and this government is going to show the way. There's so many things that the government is inviting people. Like I know the refineries. Government has invited people to come and partner with it. in refining the petroleum products in this country.
Now, against the background of fluctuating oil prices and very weak manufacturing base that the administration inherited, the foreign reserve kept soaring. What will you say was responsible for this? Is it prudence? Is it what was the magic wand that the administration was using?
Discipline. You see, let me tell you, the discipline in the leader, which transcends down to the followers. I mean, those in government, like the ministers, the head of MDAs. Now, when the previous government started the single treasury account, they couldn't actualize it because they had no discipline, they had no willpower. Now, a leader came who enforced it, ensured it works. So that kind of thing, where as of today, if Mohammed or Ruth or Demola want to find out how much money do we have today in the kitty, you can Google and find out. Which means so that kind of discipline, that was what was lacking. So now somebody came and said, look, we need to do that. You must be prudent. You must tender. You must not do wastages. So these kind of things are the reasons why we keep,
You're a politician, but you have your own past as a businessman. So what will you say are the advantages of strong foreign reserve?
Let me tell you, I'm a manufacturer. I'm both into furniture and tomato. I can tell you that government has banned importation of furniture into this country. And in other areas where people need to import, because in 2014, we almost, the country was almost going into, there's an organization called, is it ATF, where if you don't have enough money, you can't open letters of credit. So now, the international community, the international financial institutions have confidence in this government that you can open LC and buy anything because they know the money is there. So that kind of discipline is giving people like us and other business people that, look, come and invest in this country. When you put your money, you take it out. In fact, this country has the highest dividend rate. I mean, I can comfortably tell you there are companies, I don't want to mention name, there are companies that have invested money in this country and they are smiling to the banks, like the communication companies.
In fact, I'm told the leader of Jijana Electric was saying if you want to invest anywhere to get quadruple your investment, come to Nigeria.
Exactly. Now that you have mentioned, I didn't want to say that, but that is true, honestly.
Well, the issue of the poorest of the poor, as a politician, you are very close to the grassroots. The social intervention program, where this downtrodden persons get money, no matter how little, how can you estimate the impact of that to the grassroots and to the smallholder economy down there?
You see, first of all, I still come back to the president because I know the bulk of his support lies with the poorest of the poor, who believe that when he gets there, now that he's there, things will improve. They believe that he will not be a party to sharing their money or looting their money. So that's why this government made deliberate effort. If anybody thinks 5,000 naira is nothing, let him go back to his village. You will know that 5,000 naira means a lot. Now, deliberate effort by this government to put monies into accounts of people who are downtrodden, persons that can never see 5,000 naira in a month. Now, it's like what we hear in other countries, the social security thing. And it is a good thing. And I call on the elites of this country. Some of the issues of this security, there is what is called connivance of the elites. In other parts of the world, the elites decided to take care of the poor so that the poor would allow them to live in peace. So the government of this country, under Muhammad Buhari, realized that, look, you must take care of the poor because they form largest part of the society. And I'm telling you, it is making impact. 5,000, 10,000, 20, 50, because besides that, there are also 30,000 paid to graduates or people that have graduated have no jobs. These things are making impact in your village, in my village, in your village, all across the country. So I am telling you, these are kind of the programs that no matter the blackmail, that Nigerians rose to the occasion to vote Muhammad Buhari back.
What would you say has been the response of the elite? Because sometime during one of the Ramadan breakfast, the president had cause to call on the elite to support these ventures. And does it mean they have been lukewarm?
I can tell you I am one of them, one of the elites in this country, just like all of us sitting here, because we are privileged to have seen the four walls of classroom and so on. Unfortunately, the elites have failed this nation. Because if the kind of wealth that some of us have go back to their villages and set up industries, probably some of these things wouldn't have. So the elites need to, even in our own interest, need to assist the government and assist ourselves to go back to where we come from, set up industries, set up machinery to employ people so that there will be more peace in the country. So I think, yes, Mr. President is right. Yes, we, the elite of this country, have failed the nation. But I think we are learning now, probably the hard way, that we need to do something as the elite. So probably the elites will need to call for a conference so that we ensure we give back everything to the people.
Across party lines?
Oh, no. This has got nothing to do with APC. You see, I mean, members of the PDP are part of us. We're not enemies. There are very, very good people in PDP. There are bad people in APC. So it's got nothing to do with, when you are in any party, that doesn't mean you are good or you are bad. It's a matter of lineage, what do you want to believe in? So as a people, and that's why, you see, that's why a lot of us politicians, like in the ruling party, accuse Mr. President of not being too partisan. People have forgotten that now. As a president, he's not president of APC. He's president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you see the amount of backlash by some politicians of our party over the reappointment of Emefiele, just for selfish reasons, that why should this person that was appointed by the previous government be retained? I mean, in myopic thinking of some of us, and look, this country belongs to PDP and APC and everybody. Just because you worked for PDP does not mean you cannot work for this government. And Mr. President has demonstrated times and time. Now, as I speak to you, there are so many boards that are being chaired by persons of the previous. So this is one country, one people. It's a matter of opinion, and the president is trying to lead that. Look, I am leader of the country. Whoever comes should please take all of us as one. Don't sectionalize the country either because of religion or where you come from.
Okay, and I'm glad you just mentioned this about the president. He also made a stance on the rule of law and separation of powers. And if we must progress as a nation, there must be synergy from the three arms of government. Now, we saw politics play out in the outgoing 8th Assembly with the executive arm of the government. What would be, there's the incoming 9th Assembly. What would be your recommendations if the executive arm and the legislative arm of government should work hand in hand for progress?
You see,
before you answer that, I think the rider should be the 9th Assembly is about to set up its own leadership.
Yeah.
Your party, the APC, had come up with a position, but others are saying no, including those who are members of the APC. Yes. What is the true position, and how are you going to go about ensuring a harmonious emergence of leadership of the 9th Assembly?
Yes, you see, let me start by what you said about allowing different agencies or different arms of a government work. In fact, in Buhari, that is what it's supposed to do, and that is what it has been doing. In 2015, when we came, I and so many other people that were around him insisted that he must decide who becomes Senate President, Speaker, and so on. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. Let them choose their leadership. Politically speaking, we didn't like it. But constitutionally speaking, that's the right thing. And remember, he has sworn with the Quran to protect the constitution of this country, not the constitution of APC. So, and you have to marry both, because he couldn't have been a president without APC, but then the constitution of this country is above the constitution of APC. So president did that, but see what has happened. Allowing them to choose their leadership, then it became a problem. And we came where we are. Now this time around, the party said, okay, Mr. President, you were voted under us. I mean, you used our platform. So please allow us this time around. He said, okay. In his nature of allowing everybody to do his work, the party, as a loyal party member, decided to agree and zone to zones and persons whom the party wants as leaders of the National Assembly. And of course, politicians. Some might not agree, or some do not agree. And I also don't quarrel with them. Each and every one of them that is aspiring to become Speaker or Senate President are qualified. They can also do it like Femi or like Ahmed Lawan. That's okay. But then the party had spoken. None of them had gone to campaign on his own to win election. So that's where the problem is. Even if the party was wrong to have said, Mr. A, okay, it's your party. It's your party who decided. So you should give a chance that, okay, now probably if I agree with what the party has said, even if the party is wrong, someday, one day, the party could improve in this kind of thing. And we have to move. And you remember I told you in 2014, when the president and the party decided to be aloof, we politicians complained. And because with politicians, you can never get it right. Now the party has said A, and then we're also complaining. But it's also normal. And I can tell you and tell the public that we, as a party, are talking with all those aspirants to ensure there is harmony, so that by the time the president convokes the National Assembly, there shall be probably one candidate. Even if there would be more than one, it would have been a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of democracy. We will allow whoever wants to contest because it's natural. But the person who decides to go against the party would have seen that, well, the party is supreme and he will be defeated, and then we'll still embrace him and move on.
I see. I hope this time around you're also not working, or rather working to ensure that the deputy Senate president, for example, does not come from a minority party.
Well, I don't want to divulge what we are doing, but I can tell you that shall not happen by the grace of God.
Okay. Has the party agreed on is it going to be open ballot or still secret ballot?
Well, that is not a matter of the party. It's a matter of the assembly. Okay. They have their rules, and what their rules says, I don't know. And they have the right to change their rules. And
as a former minority leader, you are minority leader in the seventh House
during
of
the third term issue.
Yes.
We were the arrowheads.
Yes. So what was the rule that was used?
It was open.
Beautiful. And we believe
during our time it was open. Yes. I remember when we voted for Masari, it was open. I mean, those who wanted Masari on the right, those who wanted Tariq Aradua, and so many, so it was open that time.
So at what point did the House of Reps or Senate change the rules to secret?
I think it was last time, because
2015.
Yes, a lot of things have happened because of the way the current leadership emerged. There was a lot of connivance. Remember, that time we also were not in government. And the government of the day at that time connived and also assisted in ensuring we don't get in peace. And thank God they did, But this time around, I don't think they will have their way.
What is the party doing that is the APC leadership doing to ensure that the imbroglio about the rule is solved before the D-Day for the election?
It is all being sorted out, because I know for a fact the members who have agreed with the party, what the party position is, are doing everything possible to ensure that it's even publicized that this voting is going to be open ballot. And look, why is anybody afraid of open ballot? During the third term issue, there were some of my colleagues who stood on the floor and said, look, we support third term. And nothing happened to them. So why is anybody afraid? Look, you are voted under a platform of a party. But we also, as ordinary citizens of this country, we want to see with our eyes which member of APC will stand on the floor and go against the party. We want to see that. Why is anybody afraid of that? Let it be open. And look, if you believe in something, stay by it. If you don't believe in Ahmed Lawan, don't vote for him. If you don't believe in Femi, don't vote for him. But then, there are also consequences, because you didn't come on your own. The party supported and sponsored you. As of today, without the party's support, you wouldn't have been there, because it's a constitutional matter. So if the party even makes a mistake, I don't think it should be overflogged. So I call on my member, and we're also talking, as I said, because it's politics, also democracy. We're not going to twist anybody. We're going to ensure they agree with us, they see reason why this time around the party is coming together to say A or B.
Let's come back to achievements of President Muhammad Buhari. Many countries go into recession and they hardly come out of it. Nigeria went into recession around 2016, and within 1 year, it came out of it. What will you say was responsible?
You see, we still come back to discipline. And some of my colleagues who did not agree with the Emefiele coming back as the CBN governor, I know for a fact that he also is one of the people who contributed in ensuring Nigeria comes out of the recession. Because of the discipline of Mr. President, he knows, so they ensured that things are done properly, and also the savings in such a way that government spending was reduced drastically to ensure no wastages. So these kind of things happened and helped the economy to bounce back out of recession.
Let me just follow up with this issue of the treasure single account, the TSA, that the government introduced in 2016 to ensure visibility and transparency of government parastatals and ministries. Would you say that was also part of the measures taken by this government to ensure that there is prudence in the spending and stability in the economy?
Absolutely. I can tell you for a fact, I'll give a visible example. I purchased tomato drying equipment from Ministry of Agric. I paid the money into government account, and that equipment was sold. Now, because of that discipline, I was shown exactly that money. Look, we've not, because when I said, give me back my money, they said, well, there is a process. So that money is there, my money is there. So this kind of discipline, in such a way that nobody can deliberately, tamper with the resources of this country. So that has helped us in ensuring that we come out of recession. Because look, anybody in this world can know that if we sell 1 million barrels of petroleum product today, the money is there and it can be seen. What that money has been used for can be seen. So these kind of things give confidence in the international community and also the local persons in the country to believe in the government. 2 weeks ago, MTN, for the first time, are on the stock exchange. They are one company that probably makes more money than any company in this country. They were not on the stock exchange. But because of the discipline of this government, previous time they refused because they were not sure of now they are on the stock exchange. So these kind of things are giving confidence into the economy of the country.
Related to that is that ease of doing business phenomenon. And Nigeria is being rated as one of the countries where the ease of doing business is higher, or rather getting higher. What will you say is responsible for this commendation? And as a businessman, what can the government do more to further reduce the stress, if you like, or the bottlenecks?
Okay. The biggest bottleneck that the government needs to look at, it's the ports. There's a lot of congestion in the ports. Because no matter how you have, lower tariffs, like in terms of agriculture, everything we imported was free. You don't pay nothing for that. But in getting the things out of the port, these kind of stress, it's what is delaying, in some sectors you have issues with that. So I think, yes, the government has lifted taxes here and there and so on, also giving a moratorium for you to pay tax, on tax and so on. But as I said, I think the government needs to look at the port, and they're doing something also. You could see last week, train has started leaving from Lagos to Kaduna with containers, but you need trains to leave Lagos to Enugu. You need trains to go to Port Harcourt. You need trains to go to Maiduguri and so on, all parts of the country. So that is but the government needs to do more, and then the roads also around the port, which the government is working on. So probably by the end of this year, we will be rated higher.
And we cannot ignore the issue of corruption in all of the successes we're recording so far, talking about this administration. But we have seen a repatriation of stolen funds. We have seen the TSA he mentioned. We have also seen whistleblowing policy. Now, is it just enough to strengthen the institutions and the legal frameworks? What about those loopholes? What about we individuals? What role if we must fight corruption?
Well, the role you and I need to play is to key in. Because our society is not about Buhari, it's about us. It's about our country, our children, our people, all of us. That if you say you are fighting corruption because of, you don't want to be corrupt because of Buhari, you're not helping Buhari, but you're helping your nation. So we need to agree as a nation that this corruption is the evil of bringing everything down. Not only in Nigeria, but where it concerns us, nations have, crumbled because of corruption. We've seen Somalia, where there were one people, one nation, one tribe, one religion, but because of corruption, today Somalia is not there. This kind of thing. So, it's good for all of us to agree. Probably, when President is inaugurated, he should encourage EFCC to also call on stakeholders across the line, where things will be explained further. Then look, this is how much we have gotten back from stolen funds or due to corruption. This is it. This is the money. And that you elites, kindly, if you know you have done, because the government has a program, I know, where if you return the money, nothing will happen to you. Because I know there are some people who approach lawyers, and the lawyers will write to the Ministry of Justice that, look, I have client A, B that are willing to refund, to bring back money. The ministry will not ask you who are they. If they will return, because the government, look, this government is not interested in locking people up. No, the government is interested in the money. You remember one time when Buhari went to Britain and Cameron said Nigeria was corrupt. He said, look, don't mind the corruption, give me back the money. So we are after the money. If those that have stolen or those have mistakenly misappropriated will return the money, they don't have to say who they are. This government has given that window that if you return without the government knowing, but if you allow the government to find out, then you're not helping yourself. So we, the elites, should join and ensure those that know they have taken should quietly approach the Ministry of Justice through lawyers. Then look, I want to return 1 million naira. Nobody is going to ask who you are. Return the money, and in fact, the lawyer will get a commission.
Is there a possibility to that?
I am telling you that has happened in this country.
Is that amnesty now a policy?
Wait, no, but I'm telling you, there are people that I know, that have returned millions of dollars into the coffers of this government. And they didn't want to be mentioned who they are, and they returned the money and nobody asked who they are. Because the government, look, if you are caught, which means you are exactly telling the government that, well, you are a thief. But if you have stolen and decide to repent on your own, the government does not know that that money is stolen. The government will take it, and the lawyers, because the lawyers are not bound also to disclose who their clients are.
Well, what I'm saying is it doesn't appear as if that policy is well enunciated or even publicized. I'm hearing it now from you.
I'm not telling you this is, the government has made it as a policy, but I am telling you, I know people that have returned money, and they did through lawyers, and nobody has bothered to say who they are. Because the government, look, if the government does not know you have stolen money, you've not stolen money. But if the government catches you, then you're in trouble. So why do you allow the government go through that? If you have stolen the money, as I said, the government is more interested in getting the monies back. But then at the same time, if you allow the government to know, the government is bound to show example on you so that there will be deterrence.
As a businessman, one issue and an investor that is very dear to people like you is the issue of the inflation rate. And it appears the CBN and other agencies appear not to be getting that. What will you do you think the incoming government should do to reduce inflation to the barest minimum?
Well, it all has to do with the power sector. There has to be improvement. The government needs to deliberately ensure that power, electricity is given, because that will go a long way to reduce the inflation. Because when factories are working, when things, because inflation is caused by all these kind of things, add-ups. When they come down, things will come down. And I'm sure before the end of this year, there shall be improvement in that.
Well, as we round off, two questions now in one. What's your assessment of President Buhari's, do I say outgoing cabinet? And then what do you think should happen for the incoming cabinet? What sort of combination of persons or technocrats or politicians should we have to have an effective, cohesive, robust, and all-inclusive progressive cabinet?
Well, what I think, what these guys have done, so far so good. They've done their best. You cannot give what you don't have. So they've all done their best. But I hope and pray Mr. President will continue in the quest of looking for Nigerians across divide. Whether, even though my party says take everything from APC, but then, as I said, it's about Nigeria. It's not about APC. You can find everything in APC, yes, but for cohesion. If Mr. President decides to go to other parties to pick, I think it is all right. It's all one country. So I think and I hope Mr. President will, in some cases, put round pegs in round holes to ensure that there is synergy. So that probably when new ministers take over, there will not be too much transition. There will not be too much learning, the ropes. Exactly. So, and I'm sure he's looking at that to ensure he satisfies the political elite, and also at the same time to ensure capable hands across, like technocrats are also brought, not necessarily politicians.
Issue of gender and youths.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, like you see, I'm leader of the youth, and I'm sure Mr. President also has said that he's going to take care of that. But he also said one thing: I will also take care of my constituency. That's the older generation. So, and I'm sure it's going to be a combination of both the youth, the women, the elderly, and so on, so that we can have one good cabinet, and I hope it happens.
Women specifically?
Of course, Ruth. I pray you become a minister.
Okay, I was just going to ask about this social investment program of the government, which has actually helped in generating employment for the people, especially those at the grassroots, and helping to feed the pupils in primary schools. Would you advise that such program continue in the this new administration? That's
if I is going to continue, definitely. In fact, they're going to add. I think they are feeding about 3 million people per day now. It's going to be about 6 million this year. Of course, that kind of thing helps in stimulating the economies in the villages, and so on. So it's a good thing, and I'm sure the government will do this and more to ensure that the local communities also,
What about all the states that are yet to key into such program? How do you expect governments to bring them in?
Yes. In fact, I hope and pray the government will make it a policy and ensuring. Like the government is in the process of releasing the Paris Club monies to the states. I pray and hope the government attaches that important program, because this is not a matter of PDP or APC. So students, pupils in PDP states should also enjoy. But there are some states of APC that also have not keyed in. I hope Mr. President will ensure this time around as a policy that this program goes to each state of the country.
Yeah, all in all, can we use this word? Can we say the administration has done creditably well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, coming from how we started, as I said, the discipline is enough to show that, look, there is change. There's a leader who believes in leading by example. There's a leader who, each and every one of us believe that he will not steal, he will not preside over stealing. So that is a lot of progress. So that is a good progress for this country. But I call on all of us to help, in ensuring and and watch, say something that will unite the country. Let no leaders, because look, you need to have the country first. I don't want a leader or any one of us, making inflammatory speeches that will further divide this country. Because if one Nigerian is killed in Abuja or in Jigawa or in Lagos, he's a Nigerian. So let us, we the elites that have benefited from this country, not use anything that can bring about breakdown of law and order just because of either sectional, sentimental, political or religious reasons. Because we are, first of all, what we are by God. I didn't choose to be a Fulani man or a Muslim. God made me what I am. God made Ruth where you are. So we didn't choose where. So let's first of all understand. And that's what Mr. President is trying to show, that look, it is not about him. It's not about Islam. It's not about Fulani. No, it's about us, Nigerians, and all of us. So I call on behalf of the government, call on all Nigerians across divide. We are not enemies of the PDP. We are family. We are one and the same. So let us not do anything that will further divide this country. Because if someday, one day, PDP comes to power, they will also want that cooperation. So please, let us not divide ourselves.
During the 2019 campaign period towards the presidential elections, one clarion call was vote President Muhammad Buhari, vote APC to the next level. What is that next level? In few words, tell us as we round up.
Yeah,
this.
And just to add to that, talking about next level, projection for the economy, since you're a businessman for Nigeria. The next level.
What? The next level, everything new. What I'm saying, first of all, next level, it's improvement on all the existing things that we have achieved now, which means we are going to go further in improving. And where we make mistakes, to ensure we improve in those mistakes. There are challenges, of course. That's, like I told you, the security infrastructure, which the government is working on. So the next level of improvement in governance, that's the next level. And when you say vote Buhari, vote APC, I will tell you it's not true. Mr. President he didn't come out. In fact, some of us will say, why are you talking like that? He will go on campaign, his own campaign. He will say, vote for any person of your choice. He has said that several times on a campaign of his own re-election. He has always said, look, let Nigerians be given the dignity, the honor to choose the persons of their choice. Let their voter card, let it speak. Because look, if you say vote APC everywhere, what happens if the person that PDP has filled, APC has filled, the people of that constituency don't want him. So if you don't want vote anybody of it, the president has said that several times. Some of us politicians will say, look at this man again. Look at him again. Instead of him to go and say, vote everything APC. But when you approach him, he said, look, why are you talking about APC? It's about Nigeria. So if an APC member does not do well, and the people don't want him, so be it. So I think we politicians need to learn, from that.
So next level is everything. Improvement.
Absolutely. Next level of better government, next level of better security, next level of better economy, next level of better fighting against corruption, next level of better President Buhari.
Honorable Faruk Adamu Aliyu, National Leader, Nigeria Consolidated Ambassadors Network, and former Minority Leader in the House of Representatives. Thank you so very much for engaging us about the performances and the achievements of the Buhari administration 2015 to 2019, and of course, what it means to say next level.
Next level. Thank you.
Ademola Adeoye, Assistant Director News, NTA, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Ruth Agwele, my assistant and able person on this panel.
Thank you very much.
She is with the NTA Current Affairs Unit, of course.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, as always. That's platform for this edition, and of course you now know what Next Level is all about. Until we come your way again with another edition and another personality, I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar saying bye for now.